Hi guys, it's Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Thanks for joining me today. I'm happy to see you. Today I'm going to be doing Roxy's weekly challenge. I think it's number 14. It's where she makes little booklets out of envelopes, or she made them out of her little cutlery packets. I don't have those, so we're using envelopes today. I have this ginormous envelope here that is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12.5 inches long. I think it was meant for sending documents. I thought it would make a nice size booklet. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is fold it in half so I know where the middle is going to be, and I decided the envelope is going to be pockets, and so and we're gonna cut this end here so the pocket will go in like that. And I didn't want something to accidentally slide down and get caught in this fold here. It probably wouldn't, but just to be safe, now that that's folded, I'm just going to go inside there and glue along that fold so that it is definitely divided into two sections. I don't know if you can see in there. It's just like a precaution. You'd hate like if you had a kind of a thin tag that wasn't very stiff. If it slipped down in there and got destroyed, that would be sad. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and just glue along the edges as you've seen me do lots of times. Running glue right along the opening of the envelope here. And then also right along the edge of the flap. And that ensures that there aren't any loose bits in there that something could get caught on. So I hope everybody is doing well. Kind of hoping to get two of these videos done today if I can, and then I will be caught up. I feel like it's a never-ending battle for me. Working full-time, it's kind of hard to spend as much time in the laboratory as I would like to, but okay. So this is going to be covered up. You won't see it. All right. Now we're going to create some pages to put inside of this booklet. And I've pulled a few papers here that I thought would be nice. One is this, you've seen me use these before, which is this from this embroidery or needlework treasury box. So I'm just going to tear that. And I want it to be just a little bit narrower than my cover, so I'm going to just tear it right along here. And I have this really raggedy torn edge down here, which doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like that. So let's see how that's going to be. I think that's going to be okay. We may have to trim pages a little bit after we cut the edge off, and we'll just see. If we need to, we will. All right, so there's one. Okay, let's see. I also pulled some packing paper, Amazon packing paper that I coffee dyed, another go-to for me. So I'm going to do the same thing with that, just tear it to the right width. And let's try to use our grid as our helper here, because this is really long and I'm going to have to do it in two. I'm going to have to move my ruler once to do it. So we're going to just go here. And we're going to eyeball it, and if it's not perfect, that's okay. All right, and we'll set this piece aside because that's good to use for something else. And then here, I think what I might do, let's just take that weird bit off there. I might actually fold this one over. So I'm not going to trim it at all. I'll just keep it the width that it, or the length that it is, and then it'll fold over like that. And that could become whatever you want. You can accordion it like that, and it'll just all pull out. However you want to do it. We'll just put it that way for now. Tuck that inside there. All right, let's see. We'll put this one aside for now. Oh, and then we've got this pretty music paper. I love this. Same thing, we're just going to tear this. About how wide we need it. tearing is fast, not always neat. I'm not the best tearer, but I do try. So it's Sunday. As I'm filming this, it is Sunday, and the weekend once again has gone by faster than I would like. They just always do. Just always do. I did something cool this weekend though. My sister gave me some sourdough starter a while back, and I was very apprehensive about that. You have to do a lot of care of it. You have to feed it and do all this stuff. And I was doing all of that really faithfully and thinking, do I even want to have the sourdough? You know, I'm just kind of torn about it. Like, we don't eat that much bread normally in my house. And so, you know, to be making bread all the time is not necessarily something that I feel the need to do. But I've been feeding it, and I've been getting all this discard, and I've been making a couple of things with that. I like to make scones on the weekends, especially if we have company, and I did make some blueberry scones and put discard in it, and that was absolutely delicious. And last weekend I tried making my first loaf of bread, and it came out of the oven beautiful. It was so pretty, but it was really heavy, like it weighed like 10 pounds. And when we cut it open, it was like so dense. It was really inedible. It was sad. So that was a big fail. And so I decided not to give up. I would try again and find a different recipe. And so I did. And so, yes, last night I baked my second loaf, and it turned out really good. And so I actually had some homemade bread for breakfast this morning, and such a treat. I mean, I love bread. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be good bread. I just really, really love it. This is a, sorry, let me interrupt a second. This is a Roxy's Weekly, or a Roxy's, oh my goodness, Roxy Creations digital here that I just printed on the back of this paper that I have. I have pads and pads of this wire cutting report, and it has lines on it, so it's nice for writing. So I just thought that would be good to add in there. All right. And then I've got one more here, and it's got pretty good write. I think you could write on this side easily. So I'm going to use the top section of this. And just to vary it a little bit, I'm going to just tear this one slightly narrower, just because I like my pages to be a little bit different sizes. So anyway, I really, really, really love bread, and I have to be careful of it. That's why I don't make it too often. And also my family just, they don't eat that much, and so I can't eat it all. So anyway, I had success. I'll put a picture of my bread at the end here, but I think it turned out really good. And yeah, maybe I'll make a loaf every weekend or something. It's kind of hard for me to do during the week. All right, so now we're going to just kind of arrange these in the order we want. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have a couple decorated pages. This one, I'll put that one, and then maybe this one with the music, like that. And then let's see. I don't really want another fold out one. Let's do this one. They're kind of dull, but we're going to decorate them. We'll put this one here. No, that's not right. Like that. And then we'll put this pretty embroidery one in the center. Okay. All right, so those are our pages. And they're going to go right in here like this. And Rachel did her document style binding, which she bases on some old documents that she is able to purchase because she lives in Italy. She finds all these really cool things at antiques markets and stuff. And so the way that they had bound these together was that they just had punched a hole here and here and then tied a length of string through the hole on each end. So I've got my tiny little hole punch here, my 1/16 of an inch there, and we're going to do that. And I'm going to try to make that about even, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we have the hole there, which isn't perfectly in the center, but that's okay. All right, then we have my needle here that I'm just going to run through the hole. And I put a nice long piece of thread on here so I can just tie it off, and then I don't have to rethread the needle. So we're just going to tie it here. Okay. And I didn't tie that very tight at all. Let's see, let me go back and redo that. And my little trick for tying knots is to tie the knot right at the top of the fold, and that kind of helps to hold the paper in place there. It kind of holds it for you. So we'll just tie that knot. And this is the waxed, I just chose my waxed linen so that it would be a little bit helpful in that it kind of stays in place when you tie the little knot. I don't know if I'll leave that little tail's that long, but let's go ahead and get the other one tied. Okay, so now this is a little booklet, and you can page through it. You got all these lovely pages here, it's just so fun. This one's going to pull out like this. All right, so what I'm going to do is pause, and I'm going to decorate this. We'll come back and we'll flip through it again. All right, so I'll be right back. Ta-da! All right, so let's show you how I decorated this little book. I just tied a piece of torn ticking fabric around it. I didn't attach it at all. So I did some collage on the front with the label. Some very plain collage here, so you could write here. You could put your name and the date in here. You could put label if you wanted to write something else, whatever you wanted to do there. Just a little bit of collage there and a bird. And the bird is coming off, so let's just repair that while we're here. Okay. Just added a label in the corner here. This is the tracing paper, and I just put some strips of washi down on the edge to make it a little bit decorated. And then underneath you can see this bird that I added to the music page. On this side I added a little tuck spot. I just stuck that in there so I wouldn't forget, but that's just a little pocket there. And then I used some of the labels that I made in my last video here, so you'll maybe recognize a few of those. Here I used those little flower ones, and this is just that pull out. This I'm leaving plain. You could do a lot of writing here, or you could attach things, glue things in, or whatever. A little collage here again with a bird. Just added a label here. Oh, this is stuck to my ring. Okay. And again, this is one of the labels you saw me make in that last video. Here I made another little pocket. So that just slips down in like that. You can put something there. And that wraps over onto the other page and just kind of decorates that a little bit. Some more plain spots here for writing. Little flip out here with a tab on it. Here I added another of those labels, and on this tracing paper I just did a little stamping of those yellow flowers so you kind of see through that, which I thought was pretty. And when you flip it over, they're over on this side. Just a label there. A little collage here again in the back, so you could write here if you wanted to. And then here is the back. So that's the first one. Now I'm going to make one more. I'm going to do a little bit different things with this one. And I've selected this this envelope here, slightly smaller than the one I just used. This is the one I think is a law firm. This is more of a legal size envelope. And I have gone ahead already and glued down the center and glued it closed. Now I had the idea to use one of these paper bags as a page. And so what I'm going to do, obviously it's too wide and I don't really want, it's too narrow to do this way. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half, cut the other end so it makes like a tube, and it's actually going to give us 2 pockets. So I've already got one done. I just wanted to show you this before I did it. So let me grab that here. All right, so I took the bag, you can see, and this was the original opening. I cut the other end with this little mini zigzag scissors. Those kind of, and then if you kind of rough that up a little bit with your nail, it kind of looks like the paper bag. And then I am folding it in half this way, okay? And then when I put it in the book, I'm going to glue along here and here, so that it will make a pocket, a top pocket here and here. There will be a pocket here and here, and then when you flip the page, there will be another pocket on the other side. So pockets galore with this little add-on. Let me go ahead and just glue those ends first. And I do want to just, this is real flimsy paper, so I'm going to glue all along that where it's single just to make it a little stronger too. So just kind of run a nice bead of glue stick along there and along this side. And then fold that up, get that out of the way there. Okay, so I think that's kind of a cool idea. And then we'll put that in the book. I'll go ahead and fold this in half. My husband just popped down for a second, and I think he was going to tell me he was going somewhere because I just heard his car start up. All right, one more thing. I am going to do the same thing and just run a little glue down the middle here so that we don't have any problems with stuff getting lost in between. There. All right, so that will go in, okay? That's kind of small, so I have to remember that when I do my stitching, my binding, that I need to come down far enough to catch that. All right, then I'm also going to put another envelope in there. I just thought this would be fun to add more envelopes and make it more pockets. So this one I'm going to keep the edges. It's going to be just like the cover where you slip things in from the side. So once again, gluing this envelope closed as we continue to do. And it would be really cool to use a window envelope for this. That would look really neat because then you'd have a pocket with a window in it. A used envelope would be cool too. If you used like a used envelope, you could keep it, usually it would be slid along the top, and you could keep it that way and fold it in and put it in the book, and then it would be a top loading pocket. So you could do that either way. This is like a resume envelope, so it's really nice paper. So I may just do a little bit of something, but leave that for writing, and then decorate the side that has all of the layers of paper. Okay, all right, and then I've just grabbed a few other papers here. Let me grab these here, and we'll get those to size. This is Put my glue book over there for now. I have got birds. Since I had my birds out for the last book, they're up here. I've got stuff all over the place here. All right. This was a page from a wedding, like a 50th anniversary party or something. And I like it because it's got a little gold around the edge and a little bit of embossed, like a raised border too, and the flowers, which are pretty. So I'm going to try to use that part that has the flowers in it. I don't want to cut that off. So we'll just use our ruler and we're going to tear, because tearing is the name of the game today. We'll just come up a little bit here. Okay, and then let's do this like that. I'm going to tear it about here. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. And then that is just slightly too long. So we may do something interesting and fold that over a little bit. Let's do it. You could attach something on there too, but we'll address that when we come to it. Okay. And then I've got another piece of vellum, but this one I printed on. I thought that would be pretty. So we'll tear that one. You know what, it would just be helpful if I just knew the size, and then I could just stop grabbing the envelope every time I needed to measure, but this is okay. Because I can see through the vellum, that makes that one easy. Okay, and we'll just tear this off here a little bit because it's a little bit too long. Okay, and I have just another one of Rachel's pretty collage ones, and I put this pretty, she does these painted papers, which I also love as backgrounds, so we've got that, and I'm going to use the bottom part here. So let's just do it this way. And then just some nice lined paper, some nice green lined paper. Okay. And this is actually, again, like I put this in really weak tea, and the blue ran, and that's what made it green. I didn't put green food coloring in there or anything. Okay. All right, let's slide that over a little bit. This one's too long. I'm just going to tear it off. And I'm going to tear this one really rough because I like that sometimes. We'll leave it about like, make sure we're not getting too wide here. That. Okay. And then we have this one. Do it this way. We have our pretty vellum, which we can do either way. I think I'm going to do it this way. All right, and this and this. Okay, all right. And let's see how those all fit in there. Oh, my little bag. Don't forget the little bag. Okay. All right, so let's see how we might like to arrange those inside the book. Probably a page first. I think I might do this pretty one first. All right, and then we'll do this little bag, and then we're going to put it right in the middle. And then we're going to do this. Okay, and then we'll do this vellum. Our envelope, which I haven't cut the ends off yet, but that's okay. We'll get to that. And this page we'll put in the middle. Yes, I think that's good. Okay. All right, so there are those. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing where we reach in and punch the hole. I'm gonna go in as far as I can with my punch to make sure that I get that little bag punched. Ooh, doesn't want to go right over that fold very good. Get in there, baby. Okay. Oh, gotta be strong. There we go. All right, and then same here. Good. All right. Now, I discovered off camera that it is helpful. Oh, shoot, I forgot to do that. Okay. Well, let me go grab my awl and we'll poke that last hole with that because I'm afraid I won't get them in the right spot. Hang on. All right, so I just need to mark these where the hole is, and then we'll put it. Sorry, I just kind of screwed that up and I forgot to punch it with the cover. It's probably a good thing because if I had had to go in here, I might have missed the little bag pocket in there. So there, we'll just poke our hole like that. That works just as well. Okay, all right. So what I was starting to say was that if you clip the corners here just the littlest bit, it gives you a little notch that you can sort of settle that string into, and it helps you to keep it in place and to tie it nice and tight. So we're going to do that this time. And I don't know, Rachel probably did that in her video. I just didn't remember. But that was helpful. Okay. So we'll run our needle through, and we're just going to tie. And obviously I'm going to have to get more thread here, so I'm going to be nice to myself and give myself a nice big piece here. And make that snug, but you don't want to rip your paper, so. Okay. Oh, get in there. Yeah, see? And then I didn't do it very tight. Let's tighten it down here. Things don't go great when you're doing it on camera. It's just the way it is. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm fumble fingers here. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I just need to get another piece. Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay. All right, let's get another piece of the linen. And now you got to watch me thread my needle and all of that. It's the way it is. Okay. All right, let's see if I can just be a little bit more coordinated when I do this one. Okay, yes, if I get that in that notch and tighten it down, that wax linen will stay in place for me. It really does work if you do it properly. All right. Now, one thing I thought of and I forgot to do, shoot, but that's okay. I'll just tell you. Thought it would be cute to tie a little tag here so that it kind of hung down on the outside where that thread is, but I didn't do it. That's okay. All right. Okay, so now we have a little book. There's our little pocket. Oh, I did it upside down. Oh, maybe my book goes this way. Let's see. Yes. Okay. I thought I put the pocket in upside down. All right, there's that one. There's that one. Turn it over, and there's that one. Isn't that fun? Okay. And then here we're just going to cut our end off to make that one into a pocket. A little bit of paper here. I'm going to fold that edge, that corner down. I just like to do that. Sometimes it makes it easier to turn it. And that's nice and neat there in the middll. Cut this one off. Oh, I could have just put this one the other way too. Like instead of on this side, I could have cut along the top if I wanted to. There's that. Here I'm going to add something on there. And then here's the second little cute little bag pocket dealio. All right. And then that. So we have some decorating to do and such. We have some trimming to do here. This page is sticking out a little bit, so we need to take a little bit off of that one on both sides. Okay. And then I need to figure out what I want to put on that little flip. Let's do that next. I was thinking I could add another little envelope or something there and just kind of go whole hog on this whole idea of lots of little pockets. So I'm going to go grab something for that. Be right back. All right, I grabbed this little like seed packet envelope, and it's just going to fit. It's just going to fit. So I think I'm going to put it in like this. But I want to, it's got this sticky strip on it, which I want to take care of. And I want to add a little bit of liner in there just so it's a little prettier on the inside. So I'm going to take this off, and we're going to find a little bit of paper to stick down in there. Let's see what might be cool. I've got this pretty blue right here. That might be nice. I kind of like that. Let's just cut that across straight. Okay, then we're going to need it just a little bit narrower than our envelope. So we'll fold these in. And I'm going to cut that off. Cutting it just a little narrower too. Okay, and then we want to have this nice curved edge and the same sort of angle here. So I'm gonna fold that like that. Just round that off. We'll do the same thing on this side. Here, round it. Let's just see if that's going to match. That's pretty good. All right, so we don't need it to go all the way down into the pocket. It just needs to go down a little ways. So I'm going to just tear that off, and then we'll get some glue on it, and we'll tuck it down in there. Glue book, please. Glue book, please. Here it is. Okay. My husband usually tries to stay away when he knows I'm filming. He really doesn't want to interrupt, which I appreciate. Yeah, so like I don't know where he was going, but I heard his car start up and he's out of here. Probably, if I had to guess, he's going to the hardware store because that is his favorite place. It usually takes him several trips to get everything he needs there. All right. Might be going to the grocery store too. I know we had a small list. All right, so now that's pretty when you open it up. And I'm also just going to put a thumb notch in there so that it's a little easier to get in and out of it because there's not much room there. The flap goes almost to the top. There. Isn't that cute? And I'm going to let that dry for just a second before I fold it down. But we can go ahead and glue it in here. And I'm rethinking if I want it on that side or here, or if I want to just tear that down a little bit and have it be a little bit less obtrusive, and I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue that onto the envelope. And then that will flip out. You can write on the back of it. and you can tuck something else inside. I like to have little small pockets because sometimes you just have small things to put in and you don't want them to get lost. There. So then that will flip out like that. Okay. And we'll go ahead and, yeah, that is so wet. It doesn't want to fold yet. Don't force it, Sue. Don't force it. Okay. All right. Then I will probably put something on here. I don't mind that edge on there, that torn edge, but it will look nice with something on it. Okay. All right. So the decorating takes time. I still didn't cut that quite enough. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing where we do a little bit of collage on the front. I might put something in there to cover that up. It doesn't bother me too much, but again, this is a nice writing spot or a place to put a name or label. Okay. All right, so I'm thinking we're going to stick with the kind of birds today, so I'll go get some more collage papers. We'll get our birds going. Get this all decorated. And then once I get it done, I will come back and just flip through it with you. Okay? All right, guys. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Ta-da! Just like that, I got that all done. All right, so this is the second one. And I've got it all decorated. This one I'm tying it closed just a little bit different. I have a length of sort of salmon colored velvet ribbon here. I'm just gonna pull it out. It's a little bit awkward, so it'll hold the book closed really good when you want it to stay closed. All right, a little bit of collage here, and then what I did on the inside, a little bit of collage here too. I put my thumb notch here, and then I made a reinforced hole here. So that's where I was tying the ribbon through. Okay, just the pretty collage paper here. Here I did a little bit of stamping. Doing those labels really kind of got my stamping juices going, and I'm going to try to do a little bit more stamping because I love it and I do have a lot of stamps. Okay, so we have a pocket here and we have a little pocket on top here. And then if I flip this over, we have another pocket here. So this one was fun, just a lot of little things. And when I just think this is a great little weekend journal, like for a little trip where you have a lot of little things, receipts or little mementos, business cards or whatever that you want to tuck in there. Also little photos that you print out would be really cute. A little space to write here and here. This pretty vellum page here, you can see the bird through it. And then this was another envelope here, so we have a nice pocket here to put larger things in. And lots of writing space here, which is great. Here I used another one of those little, and here I used a lot of those little labels that I made last week. I'm definitely going to make more of those. This one I was playing around a little bit, and I just punched a hole in the paper and then punched out this flower shape vellum and put that over the top. I don't know why, I just felt like doing it to make a little window. Just something different. Here's another pocket. There. Left this kind of plain. This is a print of an old ledger, but it's really light, so I think if you had a black pen, you could write right over that. Then here's our sweet little coin envelope that we put in, and just did more collage there, another bird. Left this real plain here, so lots of expanse to write here. And if you write there, then you'll see it, and you flip the vellum, you'll see it through, which I love that idea. So a little bit more of those stamped flowers here. Same situation here with the bags and the 3 pockets. One here. And then I left this totally plain. You could put whatever you want on there to decorate it. A little label would be cute, but I was going to leave it mostly plain for writing. And then you could write here, and you could also write here. Here's our little reinforced hole again. This is the pocket. And then on the back, I've just got another little bird. All right. So here's that one. And then here was the first one we did. These were a lot of fun. I definitely am going to make more of these because I think they're great little take-along journals for little trips. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.